Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, and as you saw in the last video, we got the cylinders bolted on. I did run the cone sander around the edges. I didn't film it. Kind of forgot to film it. As you saw in the last video, we got the oil lines hooked up to this block, which took us about 45 minutes. We should have dropped the oil pump drive, and it would have made it a lot easier. But once you got stuff in, you hate to go backwards and take it apart. So we just worked around it to see if we could do it, and we did it, but it was not easy. You know, we've only got so much action in our wrist. But anyway, we're going to go on in, and we are going to take a connecting rod off the piston, and we're going to put a wrist pin bushing in. So anyway, just pull your C-clamp out, go to the other side, comes out like glass. No wear on that you can feel. It's pretty darn good shape. I'm actually going to put that right back together. And yeah, you probably could put in a couple thousandths oversize, but those are runnable too. I mean, I'm not going to junk these. I'll put these in the box that the other pistons came in. And if down the road, if I ever want to put one back to standard, I would run those. I would not even hesitate. Not for the price of them. So anyway, we're going to go on over, press out this steel bushing. Shut up. This one was a lot tighter than the other one. There we go. There's the bushing. So we'll go get the other bushing, we'll wash this up good, and we'll put the other one in. That's a little sleeve retaining compound for that bushing. We'll put a little bit in the end of the rod. That way what pushes off, we'll have some around both pieces. Don't take much. Put that back in our box of anaerobics. We'll go on over and see what we can do. That's it. So we got over 7 thousandths to go. Double check, yeah. Long ways off. So starting to read on the scale, 6 thousandths to go. So we'll just keep double checking, make sure the scale's working right. Tighten stuff up. I guess that tightens things up. Four thousandths left. Just make sure we're right on a gauge setting. 2 thousandths left to go. Yeah, pretty darn close. According to that, we're right there. We'll see how we are. Boy, perfect. A little snug, but we're gonna run it. Try to wash the stuff out of it. Oh, that's perfect. No squeeze out of oil, that's just about right. Okay, we're going to hang these pistons and rods. And get that one in there. A little bit of the ultra slick on the bores. A little bit on the wrist pin. It doesn't take a lot because 90% of it gets shoved off. No sense to waste it. Although I got to get enough to get around the bushing at least once. There we go. As long as it's not dry. Because these are pressure fed, so as soon as the rod bearings get oil. Now, that's the top to my left. Number one to my left. And if everything's right, that should slide right in that piston. Just as nice as can be. And it's still some stiff, but it goes. Beautiful. Just like so. There we go. Last little bit. Everybody's got an opinion on these C-clips, piston pin clips, whatever you want to call them. And I usually put the gap down. Some people want it different ways, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I don't like to run them sideways though, because that's where your start and stop load goes. On a modern engine, if you over rev them, they'll start to float that direction, so you want them top or bottom. There is a little bit of a, yeah, double check, top, numbers. Was you getting anything there? Oh yeah. Okay. Second, third groove. That's all of it. That's all right. We'll slide them right down the piston. I should have probably done this a little different. Should have come in over the rod on the bottom for the first one. Would have been much easier. Move that oil. Things don't always go just as planned. There we go. Beautiful. That's 2 top grooves. These ones here are almost always directional. So they will have a dot. Well, actually it's got the land. These ones here, this 45 goes up. So these ones are a little different shape, but there's that one. There we go. And the top groove. Those, a lot of times, will have a preference, but I do not see a dot on these. So these ones are non-directional also. So we'll put these on just the way they come. There we go. Hard fought battle, but we won.
Just need a third hand.
Just needed a third hand. There. We'll shut the camera off and we'll go put this in. Okay, top is up, numbers are up. My ring compressor will not work because it's not tall enough to get the whole stack. So I'm going to use a hose clamp here and see if I can't get the oil ring in, and then we'll set the ring compressor up on the front. And that felt like it just went in. Hopefully it did.
Looks like it did.
So we'll take this off.
Oh yeah.
And you know, people that want to rebuild an engine and don't have the money to buy all this stuff, if you can get the rings, you know, you can put one ring onto a time, slide it into here, put the next ring on, another hose clamp, and you can put an engine together with a hose, you know, a hose clamp if you have to. Not the handiest thing in the world. I did have oil in that back ring, by the way. And there's oil in the cylinder. We'll put a little more on. This is just lightweight oil. Okay, I don't know where the rest of the gaps are, but they're not all lined up. That's all that matters. Oh, look at that. Let's see what we can do here. Get things lined up. There we go. Now I need a big hammer. There we go. Yeah, so we just rolled the crank ahead into that journal, and I didn't actually show it, but we got plenty of high tack on it. I'll do the same thing here with this bearing, put the high tack to it. STP's the same thing without the coloring. They all work the same. It's just a heavy, slimy, sticky oil. That way when you're cranking it up with no oil pressure there at first, it don't do no damage to the bearings. So, yeah, come on. A lot of this stuff's like working with Braille, you know. But, yeah. I don't know what you can see there, but. Anyway, we're gonna go get a ratchet here and snug these up. And I'll bring you back. Now this isn't tight by any stretch of the imagination, but on an engine, when you actually putting the rods on, if things don't have a lot of clearance, just tap them one way to the other, and that will set that bearing. You see that side movement? You always want to make sure that everything's lined up so you got that side movement. And you can have these fairly snug when you do that, as long as they're not torqued. And they'll flatten themselves out and line up. Anyway, yeah, it turns over real good. I'm going to go get a torque wrench. We're going to torque these babies up. According to paperwork, I think it's 63 pounds, so. These old bearings there, to get them off, if you wrap them with tape, just pull the tape and the two bearing halves will come right out together like that. Discard those. You've got a clean, undamaged bearing journal, and I'm not going to video it, but I'm going to go do the other piston and rod just like this one, and when I bring you back, we will have the other side into this old girl. So right now we got some oil in the crankcase, and Charlie's going to crank it over till the oil filter is full and we get oil coming out of the line that goes to the head, and then we'll stop and we'll put the head on. We just wanted to be able to see what was going on. Cylinders look good. So, rods look good back here. So we're just turning slowly. You don't have to turn them fast. We only got 4 quarts in it. We'll top it off when we get done. So anyway, I'm going to take over. I'll bring you back here a little while later when something exciting happens. Well, as you can see, Charlie's going to turn it over. We got oil coming out. We just had the oil start drooling out of the front. So all the oil system's full now. So now we're going to go continue. Going to put the head studs on. And yeah, we'll put the head on here in a little bit, because like I said, I just did a valve job on that about 2 years ago. It's probably got 4 hours worth of running on it. I don't care if it's got a little oil inside the cylinder head. You know, that's just some carbon from where it was burning oil. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper and clean off the surface. I actually decked this the last time I had this thing off, so it's going to clean up real quick. We'll put that on, and yeah, we're not too far here. Might even, I don't know if we're going to try to fire it today, because we won't have the gas tank on it. We got to still do something with this pedestal. But we're coming right along on the engine build. We also got to do the governor that's down here on the ground. And I do want to show you that when I get putting that together. So anyway, I'll be back. Hey everybody, I'm going to call it a day. I got the studs back into it. I just used one of these old cheap stud tools here. Nothing fancy. I did put the John Deere thread sealer and lock on it. You can see some of the remnants down there, the blue stuff. I've just been wiping it up, what drips off. You can also see it probably on the inside. Hello! Yeah, so anyway, got interrupted there real quick, had to unlock a door, but yeah, so we got these in today. You always got to make sure that long one's in the middle, because that one handles the oil for the rockers. And yeah, well, it actually don't handle oil, but it handles a piece, it does. So tomorrow we'll fix the head, get it sanded up and cleaned, blown off, and we'll install that. So anyway, yeah, we're coming along. Hope you enjoy. Don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe. Appreciate it. See you next time.